And while in the midst of restoration of the jigsaw, a friend of mine bought this one, XJR1200 1998. Pretty good nick, but it needs a few things. First thing, you check everything on fluids, which doesn't have much, just oil, forks and engine. So we'll replace that, the filters, the air filter. We'll replace the fork seals because we have some issues here, as you can see. Chain and sprockets, definitely, they're gonna go. These ones are not roadworthy in Victoria, so we'll have to replace them with the original ones, the orange. We'll put brand new brake pads, but the discs are brand new, so we won't touch them. The rear one though, I'm pretty sure that this is a non-roadworthy item for Victoria. Eventually what we're gonna do, we're gonna respray the whole bike in some paint job that my friend chosen already. Oh, and we'll have to replace the tires as well. They were made in 2015. It's 2024 November now, so we have to do all that. Okay, let's get going, starting with the simple things, the engine oil and oil filter, and let's get going to more hard jobs like the fork seals and the tires. And this is where we have to go to remove the drain plug. That's where it is. Pretty tight spot, isn't it? And let's remove the drain plug, which is gonna create a bit mess. Beautiful. Not the original, but it doesn't matter. We have a magnet which doesn't have any filing. That's a good indication the engine, at least it doesn't run on any damages. Oil filter. So this is to drain the oil filter. You won't have all the mess. Let's remove the calipers until the other oil filter drains. So we're going to remove the wheel because we have to replace the fork seals, oil, and then the tire. Make sure you do the other caliper, and let's remove the wheel. And to remove the wheel, we have to remove the security bolt. Completely, and now we'll remove the axle to take the wheel out. And one last thing, the speedometer cable needs to be removed. 19mm. The spacers out, and we're good. And even though it still drains a bit, it doesn't matter. 12mm. So it's spring loaded, so push it in and then take it backwards. Otherwise it's going to step onto the clutch hydraulic pipe. And now we remove it. It took a bit of wiggle to remove it. Remove first from lower and then the upper, because this one grinds there. And this point has to go in a specific spot in there. There is a gap in there that can go. We'll find out later. And that's where the filter is. And once we remove the filter, we remove the O-ring, which is a rectangular ring. It's not an O anymore, because guess what? K&N comes with a filter and the O-rings needed to be replaced. Let's do a good clean and replace everything. Okay, so now we remove the old O-rings. One O-ring goes in here, which is that one, and the other one goes to seal the cap. The other one is that, and we slide this in there until it goes all the way into the groove, like that. And some engine oil in here, lubricate it, put it in there. K&N 401, that's the code for XJR1200 Yamaha. No. And on top of that we put the spring, and let's go put all this thing back into the engine. Now this pin here has to go right there, right on that spot. Last thing, a bit of oil just here for better sealing. And after a bit of wiggling, make sure that cable for the stand switch is not biting in between the two surfaces. We managed to put that in there, and the torque is written in here, 15 Newton meters. To me, that's by hand. This is the oil filling plug for the engine, which is not the original, as you can see, and I have no idea how to remove that. Let me find something to untighten it, see how I go. And all I needed was a piece of rag and two hands, not hold the camera, and a plug. This is a temperature oil gauge, which I don't know how accurate that can be, but I'd prefer the original. Anyway, let's put some oil in the engine. Mineral oil for that engine, 1040. I couldn't find 1030, plus it's going to be quite hot in Australia, so that won't be an issue. Mineral oil because that engine has derived from the FJ1100, which they later made it 1200 and they put it on the XJR. These old school bikes, as I mentioned, they all have an issue with the starter clutch. And the clutch, the actual clutch with friction plates, it doesn't really go well with it, with full synthetic or semi-synthetic oils. So it's a good idea to run it on mineral oil. In order to remove the forks, after we remove the wheels, we have to remove the front fender. This is the back plate. Two more and the fender is out. What I want to do before I remove the front shocks is to break these ones, because if you remove them, then you don't have anything to support to break this one. It's going to be hard. So it's better to remove it now that it's on the motorcycle. Unfortunately, the steering wheel, it's in the middle of it. So bloody XJRs, you have to remove the steering wheel to have access on this one with a hexagon socket, not a polygon socket, because you're going to up all the angles here like they did some guys before us. And once you remove that, you let the steering wheel drop a bit on the side and you can break this one out. Hexagon is better than a polygon. This is why these destroyed. One thing you need to notice before you remove anything on any fork is how high above or below, whatever, the steering plate they exceed. This one seems to exceed just the plug, and that's why I'm going to put it back on. Just the plug to be exceeded off this surface, and that's how it goes on again. Loose, a bit more loose actually, and that should be enough, quite loose for me to remove it while I have the fork out. So now we have to remove one, and once we loosen it, that's fine. We don't have to take the bolt all the way out. And two more here. And that's it. Now we should be able to pull the fork down. Let's see. Okay. Oh, easy. Easy. Here it is. Here it comes out. Let's remove the dust covers. And I'll have to remove the fork sill. So much there. Gee, all that shit. No wonder they're gone bad. All that was grinding between the sill and the fork. Eventually that can destroy the forks. Hopefully that hadn't happened. Oh no. Broken. Was the spring loaded? Yep. Okay, good. That's one. That's the spacer. There should be a plate in there. Look at that oil. Was it ever been replaced? That's black. That's bad. Burned oil all over the spacer. We'll clean that. And after we start pulling both parts outwards, we were able to remove the seal, take it out. Look at that, full of rust, destroyed not only the seal but the circle as well, and now we have to find a new circle. Now, first things first, the stem, the damper spring, you put it all the way down, you make sure it comes all the way the other side. Then you put the Teflon part like that, and the whole thing goes into the boot. And then you put the bolt in. And then what we do is you take the rattle gun, you push outwards to create some pressure, and you tighten this one up. The seal numbers go upwards, and this is a good tip, so you won't smash the seal with the sharp edges here. Fork seal installer. I put the Teflon things in there, all three of them. And if you can see, it's all in place, and you can see the groove for the circlip. And of course we're going to put the dust cover on top. So next thing, remember, the short distant coils go downwards. You put it in, then you put the washer, make sure it sits flat, which it did, and then we have the spacer. Now it takes 10W, and it takes 555 ml. Let's put 500 first. That's 500, let's put it in. So 50 here, one more line is 55. And that's it, done. And after we put the spacer, that's the hard part, you have to push and turn at the same time without destroying. Yep, got it. And now we can, we'll tighten this when we mount the fork on the clamps. And now let's put the fork back in place. And now let's bring back where it was. I bought this tire changer from a shop locally. I have no idea how it works. It looks obvious, but anyway. Now we need to take a lot of precautions, like put some plastic protections over there, some plastic protection on the bead breaker, if we were not willing to scratch the rims. We're not, but at this case we just have to put the tires quickly on and take the bike for roadworthy. At some point later is when we are going to remove the tires and spray paint them, and spray paint the whole bike in a Yamaha original color, obviously. So at the moment we don't really care about that much. Done. Some soapy water. Now let's see if we can do this without swearing. Both in Greek and English. I'll let you know. Seems to be working. Just hold the damn thing in place. Braca. Using right, it works. Pass it on the other one. Go around. Sure. Ta-da! Seems that it's working, and we didn't scratch much either. Let's put brand new tires. Pilot Road 2 Michelin. Now, rotation of tire. Rotation of tire, it's marked on the wall of the tire, which is, yep, that's how the tire rotates. Let me show you something else. Rotation of wheel. First of all, you have the discs to tell you. One should say L for left and R for right. But if you don't have the disc or the discs don't say anything, with these bikes are very easy, because you see the three spokes? These three spokes have that angle. It's not like other motorcycles that are straight and you can't tell. If they're angled this way, then this is the rotation of the wheel, and you put the tire accordingly. So it goes like that. Now, there are some marks, like dots or something, that they show you that this mark has to go where the valve is. That's because from the factory they had the tire made heavier slightly on the other side to compensate that weight. So you have to put that mark on top of the valve, and the other side is heavier. I can't see any marks. My best guess, I'm not sure, I'll go with that. I see barcode here, so I'll put the barcode on top of that. There's no other marks on both sides of the tire. Some soapy water on the tire. As much. Some cases you can manage to put the whole tire itself. Never done this before, so bear with me. Good. Better lubrication. Let's try with that. And the tire is on. Now, it's 2.5 bars, but at the moment we didn't put the valve. Okay, front brake pads. So what we choose to put: metal gear, organic. But unfortunately, look at that. I didn't film the thing very well, out of frame. I apologize. I'm gonna show you on the rear brakes on the next episode, but for now I have to take this off the screen because it looks horrible. Sorry guys, I'll do better next time. Done. Speedometer reading on one side and the spacer on the other. Good, let it go. Done. $72 Newton meters, I think that is. 72 Newton meters. That's it, done. Secure the wheel. Okay, let's put and last but not least, just the spindle wire that goes in there. Okay, so far we've done front tire, this brakes, front, engine oil and oil filter. What else have we done? We've done the fork seals and fork oil. The only thing is we wait for the two C-clips to arrive to put them in and close everything down like that. In here, put protectors in place as well. And what's left to be done is rear tire, rear brake pads, rear brake disc and chain and sprockets to be replaced. However, this is just for preparing the bike for roadworthy. Later on, this is going to be a project some winter after Mr. Gixxer finishes, hopefully this year. No, next year, March. We're gonna remove all the plastics, the tank. There is a dent here. We have to fix this, push it from inwards, a bit of putty probably, and respray the whole bike in different colors that the owner purchased. It looks pretty good actually. We have the original covers. These don't look really well in my opinion, so we'll put the original covers and we'll make this bike being awesome. Okay, so I'll see you on the next episode, which we're going to be finishing the roadworthy certificate for this motorcycle. Look after yourselves and families and be well.